the cake, blow the candles out, feeling like LeBron James.
We're just gonna keep it really basic for our beginner traders out there. Today's app that we will be focusing on is WeBull. So grab your notebook. Our goal today is to learn the language of paper trading before we actually live trade during our session. I did start my WeBull demonstration a little bit earlier in a live from a week ago. If you're not to that point, go watch the live on YouTube, or you can join our Hood to Hooded school community and figure out how to start the WeBull, because we will not be starting here today. A lot of people, a lot of youth in the hood don't even know that this is an option. Imagine if they had a WeBull trading class in high school. Imagine if there was a day trading club for high schoolers or college students or even just working adults. This is a skill that we all need. They say money don't grow on trees, but sometimes it grows in the stock market. And we don't want to be left behind. Whether the stock market is falling or rising, there's ways to learn this so you can make money from just having this extra skill in your back pocket. I'm no expert, please. This is just beginners. We just getting comfortable with even just the thought of going on the stock market, because where I come from, hood to hooded, we got to start with the hood mindset, where people just like, what the hell? Because when you open up these trading platforms, it's a lot. It can be like, never mind, it's too much. So we're gonna baby step it here on this podcast. If you always wanted another stream of income, or you wanted to get another skill that can help your family and lead to possible long-term wealth, welcome to the hood. You might be asking, what the hell is paper trading? We gonna figure it out. But it's something that you can do. It's kind of like playing a video game with money. You ever wanted to know how it feels to have $1 million on the stock market? You ever feel like day traders are speaking a whole different language? Have you ever felt that? Words like limit order, stop order, bid, ask spread, market depth. All of these different terms. What is day trading? What is day trading, and how WeBull can help beginners? That is the main question that we have right now. Day trading is when you buy stock and you sell it within the same day to profit from small price movements. Now, an expert in this field, if you pass this level, then go check out someone like Terry Ijiyama. She is a professional, and she's going to get you to the next level. Even if you want to get interested in this, I recommend watching several traders to see the different styles, so that you can come up with your own style and have a lot of knowledge before you start. But also, with paper trading, you don't have to wait to start. You can start trading on the stock market today with practice money. So WeBull is perfect for beginners because it offers paper trading. That's practice trading with fake money, so you can learn without losing a dime. I love paper trading. Think of it like diving in a simulator before you hit the highway. When you was a little kid, you want to practice driving. Think of it like that. It's like practicing before you actually risk your real money. You still learn the steering, the gears, the brakes, just with no risk of crashing. That's what paper trading is. And that's why here on the Hood to Hood podcast, we about exploring all areas that will help us level up. Any area that can give us a new skill, give us a new way to get a different branch of financial literacy, investing, that is going to give us another source of income. The key terms that you can see on the screen is equity, ticker, price action, and volume. These are terms that all beginning traders need to know. Paper trading is practicing trades with virtual funds that you don't have to be responsible for. And the good thing that I like about WeBull is that you can restart your paper trade account anytime you want. You can practice with $500, or you can practice with $1 million. You can practice with $50. I'm talking about play money in the real stock market. You can do whatever you want. So I think that is a great asset about this platform. Another thing that we want to go over is equity. A lot of us know about equity with home ownership or in other assets, but when you get equity with stocks, you actually own a piece of that company. So if you always on Facebook and you strolling, you actually paying Facebook or Meta shareholders. You can actually become a shareholder for Meta or Apple or Google or Amazon or Tesla or any of these big companies, Coca-Cola. There's so many in different spaces, in different industries. It just depends on what you're going to use for your research and what companies you really like. If you really like a company, why not invest in it? If you're always on Meta, why not invest in Meta? Next, we're going to go over ticker. Boom. You see these on the news, all of the company ticker symbols. This is a short code that represents a stock, such as AAPL means Apple on the stock market, right? So you got to know ticker symbols. If you are interested in the company, learning their ticker symbols will help you out. Using CNN Finance or WeBull, any of the trading apps, price action, how a stock price moves throughout the day. Now, volume is just like it sounds, is the total shares traded of that stock. Open the app, tap trade, you'll see order types like market, limit, stop, and stop limit. The definition of a market order is buys or sells instantly at the current market price. So if you place a market order in the stock market, it's just going to go at whatever the price is. You don't have any control over if it goes high, low, or anything. The pro about this is the fastest way to get in or out of the stock market. If you do a market order, you can sell market order or you can buy market order of the stock. The con is that the price may change slightly before it fills, and you don't have any control over that. Market orders are saying like, I want it now. I really don't care what the price is. The next one is limit order. The definition of the limit order is you set the exact price you're willing to buy or sell at. You control the price for your trades when you limit the order. Say you want to buy Apple at $190. You set the limit buy order at $190, and it'll only execute if that price dips to that price or below. This gives you more control. Even though it may not ever come to $190, then you will not reach your target. So that's a limit order. You kind of control the price. Stop order or stop loss or stop buy. This is an order that protects you against unfavorable movements. It's an order that triggers a market order once a stock hits a specific price. All right. So if you own Tesla at $200 and you want to protect yourself from losses, you can set a stop loss at $190. If the price drops to $190, your shares sell automatically. This is how you can stop the bleeding, basically. Limit is the price you're willing to pay or sell, and stop is you limit the price you're willing to lose. Stop limit order is a combo of a stop order and a limit order. So it's both of them in one. So once your stop price is hit, it places a limit order instead of a market order. And then it gives you more control, but it's still not a guarantee for you to fill the order. Let's go to the next one, which is a little bit more advanced, which is trailing stop. So this protects profit with flexibility. So it'll trail if it goes up and you can kind of move it up and down. So trailing stop. The definition of a trailing stop is adjust automatically as stock price moves in your favor. So you can set a trailing stop 5% below the current price, and it follows the stock up but locks in if profit falls. You want to make sure you compare your risk and your rewards, which is why paper trading is kind of cool, because you can kind of and not really have any risk, but you're practicing, so you're taking your emotions out of it. Other term that we could just go over to understand market structure and trade metrics: bid price, price buyers are willing to pay. Ask price, what sellers want to receive. The bid ask spread is the gap between the two, the bid and the ask price. If it's smaller, this equals more liquidity. The volume, which we talked about earlier, is the number of shares traded that day. Tell you how active a stock is. If it has high volume, the volatility. This is how fast and unpredictable prices move. Liquidity, how easy you can buy and sell without affecting the price. P&L, this is very important. How much you gain or lost on your trade. So you'll see it P&L. You do day trading. You either profit or you lose. Execution time is when your trade actually goes through. So beginners often lose Not because of the market, but because they didn't understand these terms. And knowledge keeps you and your money safe. This is going to help us lower the risk so that we not see. It's going to help us lower the risk. So the thing you want to do when you're day trading is stay disciplined in your trading choices. So you don't want to be chasing it, because it can get really exciting. Maintain control of your trade feelings. It can get very emotional because you're dealing with money, you're making money, you're losing money. It's like a roller coaster ride. And then your capital. You don't want to play with your capital. You don't want to play with your true retirement. Just use money that you're willing to lose, I guess. But not going in with the mind frame to lose, but knowing that you have to pay the market, so you will lose sometimes. Before you place any trade, remember this: day trading is not gambling. It's math, it's mindset, and it is management. Rule number 1, you don't want to risk more than 1 to 2% of your total capital in one trade. Like if you start paper trading, you don't want to go out risking the whole $1 million in your first trade. You want to only do a little bit at a time in practice. Number 2, always use the stop loss. Always, always, always use the stop loss. It's there for a reason. Why not use it? Rule number 3, don't chase. Let the trades come to you. They will make sense. Your first job as a trader isn't to make money. It is to protect your money. When you get into the WeBull app, you're going to find the menu button. Alright? Or the more. You're going to hit the more button. You see here? Boom. The more button. When you're inside, there's the more button. And then once you hit the more button, you'll come to this page. Once you hit more, you're going to come to this page. And then you'll see paper trade right down here. You'll see paper trade right there. This will be your account when you first get in. You'll have $1 million to paper trade, and everything will be at 0 because you're just now starting. You can edit this and say, hey, I don't want to invest $1 million when I first start. You can reset it. You can edit it. You can start with $5, $500. You can pretty much do what you want. Let's go to the next screen. This is going to show you your positions. We don't have any orders in there right now, but once we place an order, you're going to see your orders, what position you are in, right in here. This is how the ticker symbol. You make your watch list. When you go into the app and you find a company, you just click the little heart in the top right corner, like on this image to the right, and then you can add these companies to your watch list. I have Meta, Tesla, WeBull, AMD, my demo page watch list. This is how the chart looks. And this is why I say trading can look very intimidating. It can look a little intimidating. At the time that I took this screenshot, Meta was going for $637.71 per stock. But it goes up and down. When you go into the company, you'll see the chart here. You'll see the options, bonds, news, feed. The news gives you information about the company. The feed is kind of like a social media feed where people are talking about the stock. And then it goes further. Let's see, it goes a little bit further. Alright, so now we're getting to what we talked about earlier. We're past all of this intro stuff, okay? So next, since we know how the stock charts look, boom, okay? Add to watch list, boom, boom. And then you're going to get here to this screen where you can actually buy and trade. And it says pre-market at the top because the stock market opened at 9:30. But you can buy and trade stock. I'm moving over so you can kind of see a little bits. What time we got here? All right, I'm doing good. Just check, just look at how confusing this shit looks, first of all. Let's just start there. That's why day trading, it will intimidate a lot of people who come from the hood or from poverty because it's just a lot of numbers. It look very tricky. It look very confusing. The paper trade way, you can get in and make a lot of mistakes. So paper trading, I feel like is such a great opportunity that a lot of us are missing out, strolling. We could be on this thing, practicing how to make money in our, not really when you sleep, but kind of. Trading goes deep. When you get to order type, these are the order types, and you want to select your order type. And that's what we went over earlier. The market order, limit order, stop order, stop loss, trailing stop. These are the terms we just talked about earlier, but actually you can see them inside of the app now. So it actually makes a little bit more sense, so you're not as lost. So remember, you always want to do a limit, always. All right, so we'll go back to this screen. Remember, stop loss, you always want to have that. In the order types, these are the order type right here, and that's what we talked about today inside of WeBull. It's a little bit tricky navigating lives, but we making it happen. What's good, Captain Beat Down? I know it definitely helped me kind of fear about money. Sometimes when you come from poverty, remember, we can tend to have that scarcity mindset where we hold on to things, like we want to let things go. We buy more stuff than we invest. We buy more things like clothes and shoes, and before we kind of money, because we want to see it now. With trading and day trading, it is a lot. It's a little risky. That's why practice makes perfect. All right. So even if before Friday come, you say, you know what, I don't want to wait for you, Dr. Sean. I'm going to go and start paper trading now. You go ahead with your bad self. People need to remember that spending money to make money is investing to get back. And that's a simple concept that people don't even realize. You have to spend money to make money. And it just is that way. In the stock market, you have to spend the money to make the money. Some of the most exciting times in my life is when the stock market is jumping, and it's just so exciting. For me, I had to kind of with the because dentistry and the hours that trading was happening, it kind of too much for me. But now I have to make a way to do it again. I don't know if I have to switch my dental schedule, but it's a must that we don't miss out. Invest into assets and not liabilities. Absolutely. Liabilities is cars if it's not on Turo, or shoes, clothes, just junk. I know someone who is a hoarder, and they just have so much stuff, and I'm thinking like, damn, if you had to turn this stuff, the money that you spent for all this stuff you're not going to be using with houses full of things, you could have millions in the stock market. The money just sitting here working for it. Anyways, because time is money. We learned yesterday that people spend 2.5 hours a day strolling the internet, right? That's 38 days per year that you're just wasting. Time is money. People spend so much money on junk food, eating out, buying this, nails, hair, shoes, clothes. The list goes on. But they never think about investing the money to make it grow. It comes the same way with dentistry. People never think about investing in their smile until it's super expensive. So the goal here on the Hood to Podcast is to not only break generational curses, but it is to get assets, learn about investing, networking, and not being afraid of abundance. Open your mind to not being afraid to have abundance and wealth, and not thinking that you're going to work a 9 to 5 for 40 years to get there. There are quicker ways to do it. We just don't know. We are unaware where I come from. Right? You're already losing money when you're investing into liabilities. Exactly. You already losing money every day. And guess what? If people realize, damn, I haven't invested and it's this far into my life, I don't have nothing. Imagine if you hadn't invested. Just imagine what it would be right now. How much you would have right now. If you could just budget, cut back, and even start with $100, $50, $10. There's no excuse for what you can start with. Just start. Nah, see, in today's society, these 9 to 5 jobs is played out. Hell out. I ain't even gonna hold you. Because guess what? They're not gonna help you meet your basic living needs. They said that middle class is like $1 or something now. This is insanity, people. It's insanity. That's why it's a must that I come on here every day to grow in at least one area, because I don't want to be one of those people who wake up one day and realize, damn, I did a lot of nothing with my time. I wasted a lot of money doing nothing with my time. The other day I had the opportunity to invest a lot of money into being in a place. And I had to ask myself, do I really want to invest this type of money to be in a place I don't like just because it sounds good? No! I had to really pause my emotions and say, no, this is not a good investment. Sometimes you have to do this with trading, with your life, and say, you know what? I'm going to wait for a second. Let me put my money into something that actually makes sense. That's why we use them as stepping stones. Exactly. The 9 to 5 jobs. I have a Hood to Hood Dreamers Network community, in the bio, and I will be uploading all of my WeBull and day trading videos into one platform, so you don't have to go scavenging around. But if you don't want to wait for that, go follow Terry Egioma. She's a little bit more advanced, and we starting at the beginning, so you know. Like change and pivoting. Some people feel that it's easier to stay at a job that we already have established. That way we don't have to invest time into submitting job applications. We all invest time or money into something. Period. I'm going to tell y'all, people don't like change. They feel it's easier to stay at a job because they already invested. They don't want to change. I was that same way. Before I became a dentist, I had went to undergrad, graduated, did the whole science classes and set myself up to be a dentist. But guess what? There was a test called the dental admissions test, and I did not want to take it. So I said, okay, I'm gonna be like my friends. I went and got a job with the state of Florida. Everybody made it seem like, hey, this was the thing to do. I was like, let me go get this job. My job was paying me $34,000 to $36,000 a year, and when I got that job, I felt like I was in prison. And I stayed for a while, but I just knew in my spirit, damn, you got to go take this test. I kept getting signs, and then one day I said, you know what? I have to go sit down and take the test so I can become a doctor. Without this test, I can't even apply. So, yes, it may be easier for you to stay at your 9-to-5 job because you might not have to elevate. You may not have to learn anything new. You might not have to invest in nothing. You can just sit here for 40 years, retire, hopefully, if they don't snatch a pension at the end, and be done with it. But for me, I've never been a settler. No pun intended. I've never been a settler, or I never wanted to settle in no area of life. Before my mom passed, when I was 8 years old, her saying, hey, you're going to be a doctor. I must have been maybe 5 or 6 when she said it, but just that affirmation spoke life into me. When she was gone, I knew that somehow, I don't care what obstacles I have to go through, I'm going to be somebody. All right? And I knew that once I got to that state job and I wasn't fully living my dream, it was haunting me every fucking day. I felt like I was literally walking into prison and I couldn't wait to clock out. And not only that, it wasn't enough to take care of my family. I had to go get a second job afterward, working at Ross, hanging up clothes. I was so miserable. And it was during that time that I studied, took the test, applied again. The application to be in doctoral program is like so steps that is much different than a job application. And you're right, some people won't even put a job application in for a better opportunity because they're too fucking comfortable. They don't want to step outside of the box. They're afraid to try stock market. They're afraid to try everything, really. That is my whole purpose here, is to tell you not to be afraid. What is there to lose? Especially with day trading. If there's an option for you to paper trade with $1 million, if you ever want to know how it feels to have $1 million to invest with, download the app. Try paper trading. Change your mindset to have abundance versus, anything less, the scarcity mindset. Every day you got to pay what you're worth. Meaning, pay attention to yourself. Give yourself some self-love, time, understanding, and growing the mind. That's the biggest thing that you can do, is invest in your mind, guys. If you don't know how to do something, just try it. I'm not a live expert, but I come on here live and I've been doing it since May, inconsistently, and I'm trying to do it 365 days, and now I'm on day 40 something. I just stopped counting because why am I counting? I know I want to do it. You want to stop holding yourself back. If you do, you'll find yourself settling for less. Never let the price tag dictate your money, ever. It's all about action. It's not about talking. That's why we take action. You can't talk about it, you gotta be about it. Only 3% have clear written goals. Only 3%. So you can see why there's only 1% of millionaires and billionaires, less than that, because only 3% have clear written goals. So 9 times out of 10, if you don't have clear written goals, then you're just somebody who is wishing. You're not somebody who is taking action. You're just a wisher. You wishing for something to save you instead of saving yourself. But no one's coming to save us. All right. Y'all have a good day. Bye, guys.